Hey, everybody. It is your girl, Miss Motivational Mobile Mindset, Ava Cherie, the Inspired. Not sure when you guys will get this, but I wanted to share some things I've learned in my journey for healing. And so my birthday has come and gone, and I always speak from a therapeutic place as it pertains to post trauma and those anniversary dates that come with your healing and trauma. I educated my ex and my loved ones and my clients when I was in the field full time about anniversary dates of trauma. And those things is when your body goes back and reflect on something, a time, a date, a remembrance, an anniversary, birthday, death date, whatever it is, right? Your body goes back to that trauma and that place of impact because it's triggered and wired because of the anxiety buildup to that date. And so we have the power to overthrow that because we can know, okay, we got to worry about this, be anxious about that. But the word says, be anxious about nothing. In all things, give God thanks. In all things, reverence God and get the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. So I started to be able to turn that around even for myself. This is my first year spending my birthday in 13 years as a single person. Even if you're with somebody, even if things aren't bad on that date, other things can come up. So we can't keep going back to that trauma of the past or the trauma triggers. We can dispel that by saying, I'm not going to allow this to be this way. I'm going to make sure that these things are in place so I can feel the peace, joy, and the loving kindness of the Holy Spirit in me, of the God love that's coming towards me from God. A lot of times, even being around people, I would always make sure I put a Avis component to my travels or my birthdays or my special days, because as a child and growing up, a lot of my special days were compromised. So therefore, I used to grieve them before they got here. So that's the anniversary date of doubt, fear, worry, anxiety. And so as an adult, I took my power back. And as a part of healing during this time, in my first birthday of being separated, and my anniversary is actually coming up, and I'm still not divorced yet, so it'll be 13 years. What I decided to do was to go and challenge myself to go to places that I went to that make me happy, regardless whether I was with somebody or not. And that is how I was for a long time, being 8 years celibate. So I challenged myself to go to these places, travel to these places, do these things that I did once before the trauma. It doesn't make sense to just continue to try to figure out what's going to happen, how it's going to feel. And so it's just the fact of the detachment, the things you were used to, the things that you did like, and the things that you did enjoy. But I also have to remind myself of how much I brought to that table, how much I made things enjoyable, how much I make things enjoyable and easy for people. And so even when it comes to my loved ones and my close friends, the same boundaries I had to set in place for myself in regards to my relationship with my ex and my relationships in totality. I have to continue to heal in those places. And as things come up, I have to implement hard no's. I have to implement this is not acceptable. I have to remember the boundaries. I have to take my hands off of it. I have to give space. I have to allow myself space. And I also told myself, I don't have to answer no one's questions or calls or anything because I don't owe anybody. That was my biggest takeaway this year. I don't owe anybody, but I mean, physical, immediate circle, network people, everybody got debts and bill collectors or whatever. I'm talking about I don't owe any person that is in my immediate village and tribe anything. So if I do not want to answer a question or a phone call, or if I want to be reserved and back up and just be an observer of things, I can do that without explanation. And that's where I'm at. As well as embracing my power, how much power I actually have, and how much power I have regained back as a result of overpouring in the wrong places. And it's powerful to be any age and get that back and resume who you were meant to be and called to be in your purpose without bitterness, without judgment. I'm not going to say some days I don't get angered, but the minute I get angry about something that happened in the past, I also say, What about that are you really angry about? Are you mad that you let that go down on your watch, that you accepted that? Or are you mad that they did it? And then, even when I can say that they did it, I have to go back to Avis and say, why did you allow it? What could you have done different? What were you expecting that he was showing you he would never change? You was expecting something from someone who had no desire to even see or change or think anything wrong of it. You were allowing somebody to use you as a cover up to their lustful lifestyle. And now you expected this person to show up as concerning person, a compassionate person, or you were expecting a liar to show up as sincere when they weren't in your life doing that for you. They didn't value that for themselves. So, there's a lot of introspection every year, every day of our lives. But especially at this point, I've overcome an obstacle. I challenged myself. So I'm grateful for that, that I ain't going to stop. I may slow down. I may be quiet, but I ain't going to stop. So I don't know when you'll get this. I'll be rehearsing for my supporting lead role that I got, and we'll be shooting in December. I want to say thank you to my bro who pulled me out the other day. And he's just the most critical, realist thinker. I got love for people like that in my life, especially when I need it the most. Thank you to my bro KB. I love you. Thank you to my family, and I will see you guys soon. I am taking a break. Till next time, this is your girl, Miss Motivational Mogul Mindset, Ava Sharif, the Inspired. God's love, God's peace to you all.